Hey everyone, Todd here, internalarchitect.com, and I am getting closer and closer to my transplant date, and I finally have a schedule, and I want to go over that with you today just so that you can see kind of what is in the process and how things kind of move forward. But before I begin, please hit subscribe down below, hit the bell for notifications, and please share this. If there's someone that you know that's going through this, they might be able to really benefit from kind of the insight and kind of the experience that I'm going through right now. So today is Thursday the 15th. This is October, and basically everything that's going to happen starts on the 19th, and that starts with my brother coming into town to help me with this whole procedure. Now, for those of you that don't know, I'm about to go through an allogeneic stem cell transplant to help fight my reoccurring Hodgkin's lymphoma. That's to put it simply. And my brother is a match in the typing that the hospital does to make sure that I can, one, take his stem cells, and two, just to help alleviate some of the issues that come along with transplant. And I'll get into it in another video talking about GVHD, and that's graft versus host disease. And there's all sorts of stuff that goes along with that, but we'll get into that in another video. Right now, the schedule is looking to start on October 19th. And that's with my brother coming into town. He is flying in from Florida, and he is going to be with us, I believe, until about November 1st. So he's going to be around for about 14 days altogether. The first day, the 20th, starts kind of a workup for him. So he's going to be getting labs done. He's going to go through an EKG. He's also going to go through some history and a physical also, just to double check everything. My brother's in pretty good shape. He skates a fair amount, and he's relatively active, not like he used to be, but he's also 42, and as we all get older, that's just kind of some of the stuff that happens. So and then he's going to be meeting with one of the bone marrow transplant doctor and go through some questions and sign consents. And then that's kind of his morning. That all happens between 8 and about 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's kind of a quick one for him, not a lot of stuff. And then Wednesday the 21st, there's nothing going on. It's a day I get to spend with my brother. I think the girls might come down and hang out a little bit too, which will be kind of fun. So then I check in. Then it starts to get serious for me. I check in on the 22nd, and I have to have what is called a Trifusion line placement. And that is essentially another port. It's similar to a Hickman catheter, which I had the original time I was diagnosed 10 years ago. And that's going to go in my right side, and it's going to go up and into another part of my vena cava and down just above my heart. So it's going to be close to where my port is, my power port, which I've been using for the last 14 months to deal with the chemotherapy, immunotherapy, all my labs, meds, antibiotics, just all the other stuff that I've had to go through. And so that is going to be placed because it's a little easier for the transplant to take place, certain chemotherapies that I need to take. It's going to have what's called a triple lumen end, which is like it'll have like 3 different ends able to be hooked up to different stuff at one time. Yeah, and then I believe I check in at 8:30 on the 22nd for that. And then I'm basically in the hospital for probably pretty close to 21 days. A lot of it has to deal with how my counts are coming back after I go through the chemotherapy. So that day of Trifusion is day -7 for me. Day -6 is chemotherapy day. Day -5 is chemo day. Day -4, which is the 25th of October, is a chemo day for me. But this is where my brother starts his he's going to be taking some growth drugs to help stimulate stem cell growth in his body. And he will take that for 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and then I will be doing chemotherapy for day -3, day -2, and day -1. But day -1 for me, actually, I won't be doing chemo on day -1. I will be doing a full body radiation treatment, and it's going to be it's low dose radiation, but the goal of it is to kill any of the lymphocytes that are producing the lymphoma anywhere else in the body that the chemo may not be able to get to. That's how it's been explained to me at this point, so I'm rolling with it, right? And then Thursday, the 29th, is day 0, and that's transplant day. My brother goes in early and will start collection. They'll start harvesting his stem cells about 7 a.m. And later in that afternoon, I will actually have the transplant. And I don't know what time that's going to be. It all kind of depends on how my brother does. But that is day 0, so Thursday, October 29th is going to be a new birthday for me, which is kind of exciting, kind of scary, and all the above. So yeah, I'm going to have kind of 3 birthdays, because I had my first transplant, September 27th of 2010, and now I'm going to have another one October 29th, 2020. So, and then my original birthday, March 1st. So it's kind of crazy. And then from there it just goes. There's one more day in case Chris needs to harvest some more stem cells, but most likely we'll be able to get it done in a day. And then I start basically the process of immune suppression and grafting of my brother's stem cells into my bone marrow. And from there, I'll be on specific drugs for the next year to help with the grafting process. And with that said, I will have a completely new immune system. I find this science really, really interesting, and how it's come a long way in the last 10 years since my first transplant. And I think that's why I'm pretty open to doing this, because I find it fascinating. It's going to be tough, there's no doubt about it. I'm going to be taking a fair amount of chemotherapy for the immune suppression in order for my brother's stem cells to graft. Who knows, there's a lot of other complications that can come up. I don't know. That's why I'm feeling, I'm pretty strong going into this stage of my treatment and potentially a cure for my lymphoma. It's a lot to ask, but it's a lot to do. I'll be in the hospital for about 3 weeks. I'll be inpatient in the hospital for 3 weeks, maybe a month, depending if I graft a little bit slower. But that's kind of the general rule from what I'm been told. And then I will move into what is essentially a halfway house across the street from the hospital. I'll be within literally 10 minutes. They want me to be within 30 minutes of the hospital, but I'm going to be within a 10-minute, almost a snowball throw distance to the hospital, really. Yeah, it's going to take, if I need to go back, which it's very possible that I will, I'm right there to be able to deal with any of the other side effects that I might come across while this whole thing goes on. So I will be in Denver for a total amount of about 100 days altogether, so about a third of a year. Looks like I won't be back home until sometime maybe early February, and it honestly all depends on how I'm doing, how I'm grafting, and how whatever type of complications might come up. So that's kind of what's going on. This is kind of the basic calendar schedule that I got. It only goes to November 2nd, but I know what's going to happen for the rest of it, which is fine. And yeah, I just ready to get the show on the road, man. Last month was a difficult month. I survived that, and now I'm going to survive this one and get to a point where I can start checking off all the unfinished business that I got to do. So awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening. If you have any comments or questions, please hit me in the comment section below, and I will get to you as soon as I can. Obviously, I have a few days before I'm heading down to Denver at this point, so I'm going to be a little bit busy, but I wanted to get this out to you so that at least you all have a little bit of an understanding of what's going on. This schedule that I have can change. obviously living in the time of COVID, shit can happen, and hopefully it doesn't. At this point, I feel pretty confident that we have a good plan moving forward, and yeah, we're going to get this done. We're going to try to stay on track with this. I feel pretty confident that we can. So thank you guys for listening. I appreciate your time and energy in watching the videos, and I will see you on the next video.